speaking of stormy, just watched the tornado video.
That is awesome. MyChannel957.com. If you didn't see it yesterday, you need to see it today. They look right up the gut.
Yeah. They also dropped some, F-bombs and S-bombs and everything.
Yeah.
So, if you're offended by that,
Well, they're
don't watch it,
sitting right by a tornado, and you don't really.
You can tell they're they have so much adrenaline. Yeah.
You don't need the sound if you got kids around and you don't want them hearing the F and the S. But if you want to hear it, it's right there for you. And I also am happy to report I pooped on Connie's house. Yeah. Not in real life.
He did not drive to Kentwood and poop on my house.
I was explaining to someone in the kitchen because I had to get some water. I needed some poop, some ammo.
Right.
And I said, we're about to do some science in the studio. And he said, oh, really? What kind of experiment? I said, we're going to find out if I can be flying over Connie's house and poop on it. And he said, when are you doing that? And I said, no, right now we're doing that.
We chartered a plane.
He thought I was getting a helicopter. And
here's the thing.
Okay.
Curtis did it in the studio.
Yep.
And it worked.
Yes.
But he flew over the house like
a bird would be.
Well, birds don't just fly one way. They could fly sideways over the house.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the poop would be smeared sideways.
Whatever. You flew the opposite way of the house. From what I was picturing in my head, a bird was going along the house.
Oh.
Do you know what I'm saying?
If a bird is pooping along your house, it's going to fall to the ground also along your house. It'll fall on the ground.
Right. That's what I was saying.
Right.
Because in my head, I was picturing that way, and I was thinking they had to turn sideways at some point for it to go that way.
And you
That's why the whole inertia thing didn't really make a lot of sense to me. But if a bird flies over your house, I get it. But if they're flying alongside your house, that's what I was picturing.
Okay, and they can't. A bird flying sideways next to your house cannot poop on your house.
Okay, that's what I was picturing in my head.
Okay. So it was not I who was unclear.
Well, you don't know which way the bird flew?
Well, I do because it hit the house.
Whatever.
Okay, you can check out
with the bird
check
talk.
out the video. Exactly. We pooped on a house. We did it. MyChannel957.com. It'll be up in a couple minutes. It's it was science at its best right there.
It was.
And we
very
came up with a new name for me, Curtis the Science Guy. Boom. Take that, Bill Nye.
Original. Science? hey, Matt, are you a science?
Take that, Bill Nye. I got that. And he was not a science. He just knew new science things.
Don't you wonder sometimes how we got a job talking?
Yeah, we're bad at talking. I don't know words. I don't know words at all. I don't know a lot of things.
Whatever.
But you know what I do now? No, I don't either. I was hoping you would answer. Like you weren't supposed to be silent. You were supposed to.
Well, was it rhetorical?
No, you were going to fill it in.
I don't know what you know.
Okay.
I don't know if you know a whole lot of things.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of things.
I can tell you this. When you go to mychannel957.com, you watch the tornado video.
Yeah.
Also, the 10 ways that you know that you're from Michigan.
Oh, my goodness. So funny.
Hilarious and true.
Yeah.
I laughed about it because Coney dog versus chili dog is so true. When I lived in Wisconsin and Mississippi and Omaha, Nebraska, I would say, isn't there a place to get a good Coney dog? And people would go, what's a Coney dog?
Well, and I will tell you, growing up in Wyoming and living in several different states, when I hear the term Coney dog, you always used to say that, and I thought you meant Coney Island. Mm-hmm. And then you moved to Michigan and you learned that the Coney dog was invented here, and then they took the recipe to New York for Coney Island. So you guys are getting a bad rap, is what I'm saying. I love that Stephanie posted the list on our page last night, around 8 o'clock. It's 10 signs that you were born in Michigan. And number 3, she says, Curtis, you got to check out number 3. And number 3 is you call Meyer Myers and Kroger Krogers. You add an S. You make all company names possessive for no reason.
For no reason.
And that does happen here.
I know.
We've talked about it. We can't help it.
It's a pretty funny list.
Also, number 1 is you know what euchre is and how to pronounce it. I have just started playing euchre with the neighbors.
Okay.
Like around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I have now played euchre 5 times in my life.
Yep.
Okay. So 4 times with the neighbors, and that just turns into like laughing, fun, drinking time. Okay. And then I tried playing on Mackinac Island with a group of actual euchre players. They were not amused. They were like, I thought you said you played euchre. I'm like, I played euchre 4 times.
Yeah.
But they didn't like it. I was making some errors, apparently.
Yeah.
And I also had been drinking a lot of beer.
How
and
was
rum and
Dan? Because Dan's a big card player.
Dan was on my team. And Dan was.
Did he get frustrated with you at all?
He didn't seem to.
He's good about that stuff.
The 2 people we were playing against were frustrated. But then they were making the same errors. So I think they were just busting my chops a little bit for being new at euchre.
Okay.
Because it wasn't like I was making like horrible errors, like saying pick it up and then I didn't have any trump,
right, Right.
And then they were making mistakes and I bit my tongue, which I don't normally do. But I was like, you are doing the exact same thing you just are all ragging on me for.
Well, I learned a lot of times through college, but drinking was always involved. So,
Right.
and I'm not a huge card player.
Okay.
So I don't really care. Now, a couple weeks ago, we were at my parents' house, and the four of us, Mom,
Euchre.
Dad, me, and Dan, started playing euchre.
Okay.
And
Who are the teams?
It was my dad and I
Okay.
against my mom and Dan.
Okay.
And Dan was sitting next to me and very much trying to help me.
Oh, nice.
My dad was so annoyed with me. He was so
Why do you
annoyed
want me to
with
pick it up? You don't even have any heart.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding when I say it brought me back because, like, I was horrible at algebra.
Okay.
Horrible.
Well,
and my dad.
and algebra are not the same.
Listen to me.
Okay.
Let me finish my story
Okay.
for once.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So I was horrible at algebra in high school, and my dad was an engineer, retired GM.
Very mathy.
So on my way to school, he would take me to school every day, and on my way to school, we would do algebra in the car.
Fun.
And I could tell that he would get annoyed because I have a very different brain
Yes.
than John does.
We've heard about birds and their pooping.
Very different brain. And he would get annoyed, and I felt that way again when I was playing
You
euchre
felt
with him.
algebra. You went back.
Yes! I felt like he was, because I knew he was annoyed when he was trying to teach
Did
me.
you
He didn't understand why I couldn't comprehend
Did you
it.
say something at the
No.
euchre table?
No, I just kind of laughed.
Because if it was extreme
No.
weight loss and Chris Patterson was there, he would have told you to say something to confront your dad right there and have
And bring up something that happened 30
yes,
years ago?
tear down that wall.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely.
It made me laugh in my head.
That's what people have to do on that show.
No.
So he was helping you.
I don't need therapy because of it.
But he
I
wa-
just remember it.
But he wasn't on your team.
No, he was on my dad was my teammate.
Right, but Dan was not.
No.
And he was more mad that Dan was helping you than
No, he was just annoyed that I needed help.
that you were bad at it. Okay.
He was annoyed that I needed help.
Well, so Katie
Yeah.
had never played, so we started playing with the neighbors, playing euchre every month. We would get together and go to someone's house and play
Right.
euchre, and it took her probably two of the four,
Okay.
to realize that the opposite jack is the second highest card.
Yes.
She would play that, and then we all we'd be like,
Yes.
you don't want to play that.
That was the same thing as me.
Okay.
But and here's my fear. If you don't use something a lot, you lose it.
Right.
So
Use it or lose it.
I haven't totally learned. I played one time.
Okay.
So I haven't totally learned how to play.
Right, you're gonna lose it.
So I'm gonna be back at square one again.
That jack, just remember that jack is good.
That jack is annoying.
No, that jack is your friend. That jack
Not in my head.
is your friend.
Amanda, do you play euchre?
I have never played euchre in my life.
You would be
You
great
can tell
at
you're
it.
not from here.
You would be great at it. We got that whole list of all the 10 things.
And
you
the
know-
list is funny.
You know what euchre is. You know about the Michigan left. Yeah, you love going up north. And I like that because up north, like to people who go further north, it's like Canada. But here up north could be Big Rapids. You know?
Absolutely.
I'm going up north. Oh, you are? Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to Greenville to that KFC buffet. Well, that's not up north.
One of my girlfriends who visited this past weekend, she visited from Wisconsin, and she was telling me that she had just met somebody from Muskegon.
Okay.
And
He was
so
going north to Ludington for the weekend.
And she said, oh, yeah, I'm going to visit a girlfriend of mine in Grand Rapids. And the woman said, yeah, I live up north. I don't live near Grand Rapids. I live up north.
live up
Where
north.
do you live? And she said, Muskegon. I go, what?
So far north.
I don't think of Muskegon as up north.
So far
I think
north.
of Petoskey as up north.
That's way north.
And Cadillac is up north.
Okay. I get to go to Cadillac this weekend, going up
you?
north for soccer. Remember the mystery game I thought was last week?
Yeah.
Now it's this week.
Are you excited?
So
I can
excited.
tell.
My wife's aunt who lives in San Diego, she said that they get the Santa Ana winds, and that's really what kind of sparks the fires that they're having now. Like for a week, it's super windy, but it's the dry desert heat, and she said that you are instantly chapped, and like you are so just like you're dried out, and everything is dried out. And you try to stay inside in the air conditioning and they don't even have air conditioning in most buildings because they don't ever need it.
That's crazy.
So you go to the library or you go to the mall because you have to get away from the wind because the wind is so dry that it will crack you within like an hour.
Did you see on the news this weekend, over the weekend, about the dust storms that happened in like Vegas and stuff?
I did. Those are awesome,
too.
too.
Can you imagine getting hit in the face with all that dust?
No. Get away from me, dust.
And then
right?
It's all in your teeth and your mouth.
But you've been at Grand Haven on a windy day, and the sand's blowing across the beach.
And it hurts.
Or you're in the dunes, and you're walking around, and you got it in your eyes, then it's in your mouth, and you crunch like you were just making that crunch.
And don't put lotion or sunscreen on because
Stuck
it's going to stick to
Sandman.
you.
Don't eat a sandwich.
Don't. Why wouldn't you eat a sandwich?
Because then it's got sand in it, and it's not even a sandwich. Like, it's a bologna sandwich, and then it's got sand in it, too. And you're like, no, I don't want this.
Really?
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
It's real gritty.
Super gritty.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
Hi, what's going on?
Nothing. I'm just thinking about how gross a bologna sandwich would be with sand in it.
No kidding. And it's happened. It's happened to all of us, right? You go to the beach, you got a bologna sandwich.
Yep.
You start eating it. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Ugh. Thanks, beach.
Did you make bologna sandwiches for the beach?
Sometimes.
I haven't had a bologna sandwich in years.
Sometimes a bologna sandwich is always nice to take along to the beach because they're so good. Oh. Bologna, mayonnaise, bread.
That's it?
That's all you need. That's perfect. That's
I went through a
golden.
period when I was a little girl that all I would eat was bologna and beets.
Bologna and beets.
That's it.
New show name.
And now I don't eat either one. I think that I find them both disgusting.
Beets are real dirty. They got a dirty taste, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The first time I ever had beets, I was at a friend's house, and I was like in first grade or second grade, and I remember it tasted like dirt, and I did not want to eat it at all. But I was taught by my parents, if you're at somebody's house and they give you some food,
You eat it.
eat the food. So I'm eating dirt, and I'm mad. Red dirt that stained everything. So that was pretty cool. I like that because it stained the plate. So I'm eating red dirt. And then for years,
That's what you liked about it.
that was my memory of beets. Because apparently my parents never ate beets because
You didn't have them a lot.
Well, they're disgusting. I never had them except that one time. So then somebody said, hey, we should have some beets. And I was like, beets taste like dirt. Ugh. And they said, no, they don't. If you make them right. So my friend's mom obviously had prepared the beets incorrectly, where I was just eating dirt beets.
So, do you like beets now then?
I've had beets 2 or 3 times, and yeah, they've been okay. If they're cut thin, you throw them in like a salad, not too bad.
If they're cut thin and you fry them?
yeah.
Yummy!
Oh, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you wrap them up in cheese and then deep fry them. That is delicious. Anytime you could deep fry a beet and just eat
gross.
it. Yeah, deep fry.
Oh, that is so gross to me.
Beet curds, come and eat them. Cottage beets. I mean, you got all kinds of stuff. Sliced beets. No, but I've had a good beet salad, and then I went to an ethnic restaurant, and I forget which ethnicity eats the beets, but it was this restaurant, and they had like 4 or 5 different beet dishes. I was like, "Wow, I'll try one of your beet dishes. Let's go," and it was actually pretty good.
Was it a cold beet dish or a hot beet dish?
It was cold beets.
Yeah, I find that I like vegetables that I don't like hot. I like cold.
Okay, celery.
Sure.
Hot celery is the
Spinach.
worst.
Like I love spinach salad, but spinach tastes like dirt to me when it's cooked.
Okay, because in there you got to wash it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You got it dirty. What were you gonna say, Amanda?
Isn't there a cold beet soup? Like, isn't it called borscht?
Yes, I've never had that. I bet that tastes just like dirt.
I thought borscht had like
Marshmallows.
pigs in it.
Borscht. I don't think it does. I think
I
it's
thought it had like something living, like pig's feet or something.
like
gross.
something living, like a
Not
pig's
living.
foot. We kept this pig's foot alive after we amputated it, and we were keeping it alive
I don't mean
just
living.
in case.
I meant
just in case we find the pig, the 3-footed pig. We need to reattach it. Oh no, we're giving up. We're gonna put it in this beet soup.
put it in this borscht.
Then you're gonna eat it. Enjoy your borscht. Don't get kicked by the pig's foot that's still alive. mind your foot manners. It's right there. It
No,
could-
I thought it had something in it like that.
yeah. What else is like a pig's foot? There's nothing else.
I don't know. It was something that used to be attached to an animal, I thought.
Like an oxtail.
Right.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, you throw an
Didn't you
oxtail in
think
there.
that?
Maybe a pig's a
You
sow's
knew
ear.
that borscht was, what is it again? Beet
Beets.
soup.
Yeah.
You knew that?
I've never had it.
Why not just call it beet soup?
Because
It's from the Ukraine, and that's not. They don't use the word soup
Oh. They don't? How do you know
they
that?
don't use the word soup. What
because
do
they don't speak.
What do they call Campbell's?
Campbell's?
Campbell's borscht?
Is that?
Also, a typical borscht recipe uses 8 cups of beef broth
Okay.
and a bone-in beef shank.
Yeah.
You got the shank. Yeah.
I was right.
That's what you're thinking.
I was right.
You're thinking about the shank.
The shank,
So
not the pig foot.
You don't need a. You want a cow's shank.
I want a cow's shank.
Not a pig's foot.
Not a pig's foot.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
A pig's foot is disgusting. A cow's shank. Now that's cool. How do you make it then?
Put it all together and let it
simmer.
You are going to.
Is it cold?
Well, you have to first boil it to,
get rid of all the crud.
Right.
Yeah, the crud.
So you can choose either have it hot or cold.
What's crud?
Don't you have to?
You gotta boil out the crud. Then you go ahead with the shank and the beets, and it's delicious.
The shank and the beef.
And then it's cold. And then you put
Minus the crud.
You put it in the fridge. You spoon off the crud and you eat it. So good. Yeah. Borscht.
I know what I'm having for lunch today.
Is it something we could make for lunch today?
Let's see. You have to chill for at least 4 hours and up to 1 day.
So then tomorrow's lunch.
So is a borscht a beet?
Or is a borscht a soup in the Ukraine? You kind of let it.
Question.
Can you make, if you can put beef shank and beets in it? Beef shank and beets would be a great morning show name, by the way.
Or like a DJ.
Beef shank and beets.
Like a wedding DJ.
Why could
yo,
you?
we're beef shank and beets. Yeah.
Why could you not put ham and spinach in it? Would it still be borscht?
That's what. Well, Amanda at first said that borscht is the Ukrainian word for soup. So if that is true, yes. But I don't think that she was right.
No, but I feel like
no.
it's because they don't speak the same language as us. It obviously means something. I mean, they don't even.
Wait, are you looking it up now?
Well, I am. I'm trying.
Hold on.
How do you spell
I'm
borscht?
Wikipedia.
Okay.
B-O-R-S-C-H-T-T.
I'm on Wikipedia.
No, B-O-R-S-C-H-T.
There are several spellings, according to the Wikipedia.
Yes.
Okay.
Popular in many Eastern and Central European countries. They make it with the beetroot. In some, they use a tomato instead. So, yes, borscht is
It's all soup.
This is a red soup. There's
it's a red
an orange borscht. There's green borscht. Potato and cabbage are sometimes in it.
Oh, see, that sounds good to me.
Sometimes they put spinach in it.
Ah! Look at that. I've been right like twice.
Soup made its way into America and to the English vernacular because of the Slavic immigrants. Altered, and then a bunch of other different spellings.
Okay.
There are hot, there are cold. Borscht seems to just be soup.
I bet no other morning show in Grand Rapids is talking about borscht.
Borscht Talk with Connie and Curtis.